Hi, preschool friends. Today we are going to be reading The Velveteen Rabbit by Marjorie Williams Bianco. There once was a velveteen rabbit, and in the beginning he was really splendid. He was fat and bunchy as a rabbit should be. His coat was spotted brown and white, and his ears were lined with pink satin. He was naturally shy, and being only made of velveteen, some of the more expensive toys quite snubbed him. The only person who was kind to him at all was the Skin Horse. He was very wise, for he had seen many mechanical toys, and he knew that they were only toys and would never turn into anything else. "What is real?" asked the rabbit one day. "Real isn't how you're made," said the Skin Horse. "It's a thing that happens to you when a child loves you for a long, long time. By the time you are real, you get loose in the joints and very shabby. But once you are real, you can't be ugly, except to people who don't understand." There was a person called Nana who went swooping about like a great wind and hustled to play things away in cupboards. The tin ones hated it, but the rabbit didn't mind it so much, for wherever he was thrown, he came down soft. One evening, when the boy was going to bed, he couldn't find the china dog that he always slept with. "Here," Nana said, "take your old bunny." That night, and for many nights after, the Velveteen Rabbit slept in the boy's bed. And so time went on, and the little rabbit was very happy, so happy that he never noticed how his beautiful velveteen fur was getting shabbier. His tail was becoming unsewn, and all the pink had rubbed off his nose where the boy had kissed him. I think they look very cozy. Once the rabbit left out after dusk, and Nana had to go and look for him with a candle because the boy could not go to sleep unless he was there. "Fancy all that fuss over a toy," she said. "You mustn't say that," the boy said. "He isn't a toy, he's real." When the little rabbit heard that, he was happy, for he knew that what the Skin Horse had said was true at last. He was real, and the boy himself had said it. Near the house there was a wood. One evening, when the rabbit was lying there alone, he saw two strange beings. They were rabbits like himself, but quite furry and brand new. They stared at him, and the little rabbit stared right back. All the time their nose twitched. "He hasn't got any hind legs. He doesn't smell right," the wild rabbit exclaimed, jumping backwards. "He isn't a rabbit at all. He isn't real." "I am real," said the little rabbit. "The boy said so. Come back and play with me." "I know I'm real." But there was no answer. Weeks passed, and the little rabbit grew very old and shabby, but the boy loved him just as much. He loved him so hard that the pink lining to his ears turned gray, and his brown spots faded. And then one day, the boy was ill. His little body was so hot that it burned the rabbit when he held him close. The Velveteen Rabbit lay there hidden from sight underneath the bedclothes, and he never stirred. He was afraid that if they found him, someone might take him away, and he knew that the boy needed him. Presently the boy got better. The room was to be disinfected, and all the books and toys that the boy had played with in his bed must be taken away. "How about his old bunny?" Nana asked. "That," said the doctor, "why, it's a mass of germs. Take it away at once." And so the little rabbit was put into a sack and carried out to the garden. The little rabbit felt very lonely. A tear, a real tear, trickled down his shabby little velvet nose and fell to the ground. Where the tear had fallen, a flower grew out of the ground. The blossom opened, and out of it stepped a fairy. "I am the nursery magic fairy," she said. "I take care of all the playthings that the children have loved. When they are old and worn out, I turn them into real." "Wasn't I real before?" asked the little rabbit. "You were real for the boy," the fairy said, "because he loved you. And now you shall be real to everyone." She flew with the little rabbit into the wood where the wild rabbits danced. "I've brought you a new playfellow," the fairy said. "You must be very kind to him and teach him all he needs to know in Rabbitland." And she kissed the little rabbit again and put him down on the grass. But then the little rabbit sat quite still for a moment. He didn't want them to see that he was made all in one piece. He didn't know that the fairy had changed him. Just then something tickled his nose, and before he thought what he was doing, he lifted his hind toe to scratch it. He actually had hind legs. Instead of dingy velveteen, he had brown fur, soft and shiny. He was a real rabbit at last. The seasons passed, and in the spring the boy went out to play in the wood and saw two rabbits. One of them had strange markings under his fur, and the boy thought to himself, "Why, that looks just like my old bunny." But he never knew that it really was his own bunny, come back to look at the child who had first helped him to become real. The end. I bet you have someone at home special that you like to sleep with. Little bunny or a teddy bear or something that helps you feel better and you cuddle with at night. Give him an extra big squeeze. See you soon, friends.